What's the chow, chinchows? Just PH Games here, and welcome to the brand new start of a brand new series for the channel. And this is going to be our brand new Saturday series replacing Light Platinum. This is going to be a Pokemon Diamond and Pearl and Platinum as well, Randomizer Metroid Run Challenge. Now, you all remember the Pokemon Emerald Randomizer Metroid Run Challenge that was initially set up by the strange ninja AnriKurokaze, who now goes by Lord Dunsparce AnriKurokaze. He made the Pokemon Emerald Randomizer Metroid Run Challenge, and basically this got me started on YouTube. This was the big push to make Lantern Joe the way it is today and turn it into Joe's PH Games. This was the thing that got me started. Without the Emerald Metroid Run, I probably would have got nowhere and probably closed the channel after we got to like 3 subscribers. If it wasn't for the Emerald Metroid Run, we wouldn't be anywhere. Literally, that's what I'm trying to say. The Emerald Metroid Run was amazing. I love that series. And I've decided to make my own one right here and continue on the series, and hopefully you guys will all enjoy it. Plus, this is a companion, it's just sort of a like play along LP, meaning in the words that like I'm encouraging you guys to play along with me. And basically, if you do play along with me and you're an inspiring YouTuber and you record your series, there's a possibility of a contest and a prize for the winner of this series. So that's pretty cool as well. I don't know what I'm giving away yet. There will be something given away by me. I don't know exactly what that is yet, but I hope you will enjoy the prize when you get it. So hopefully we get like 4 or 5 people competing for this prize, whatever it is. So here are the rules for the challenge. We'll get to how you enter and everything else and the randomized options and stuff like that in a couple of minutes. But first I'm going to tell you all the rules. So, first off, you may have any Pokemon you want as your starter, excluding legendaries, and it has to be its first evolution form, and they have to start at level 5. So, for example, if you wanted a Machamp to be your starter, if you wanted a Machop evolution line to be your starter, you have to start at Machop, and it has to be level 5. That could be your starter. But, you know, it doesn't have to be Machop. It can be anything you want, excluding legendaries. It has to be its first form, but it has to be at level 5. And you can have anything, excluding legendaries, that is. And, you know, it has to be its first evolution form. Anyway, yeah. Rule number 2. Before the Elite Four, you have to catch one and only one of every type in the game, excluding fairy types because they don't exist yet. So you need like one normal type, one fighting type, one electric type, one water type, one fire type, one grass type, so on and so forth until you complete the entire list of types in the game. So there you go. You need one and only one of them before the Elite Four. You need to get one. Before you even think about challenging the Elite Four, you need to get one. You need to get one of every type before you challenge the Elite Four. This needs to happen. You don't have to like team them all, but you do have to have them all. Well, if you catch a new type in your episode, you must put it on your team and use it. You must put it on the team in the part you caught it in, unless you caught it in towards the end of the episode. Then you must use it in the next episode before you can grind it. Now I'll get on to grinding in a minute, but the fact is, what I mean by this is, if you catch a new Pokemon to join your team, yeah, that new Pokemon is not an official member of your team until you put it on the team and use it in at least one battle. You have to use it in at least one battle for it to count. And if you catch it towards... And now, this has to be on your team for at least one episode. So if you catch it towards the start of the episode, yeah, that the episode that you're recording now is that episode, is that one episode. You can box it after that if you want to. It's up to you about that. It's up to you whether you want to keep that partner on your team or not at that point. But it has to be on your team for one episode. But if you catch it towards the end of the episode, and we'll get onto like episodes in a minute. But yeah, if you catch it towards the end of the episode, the next episode it has to be on the team for one episode. So if you understand what I'm saying here, yeah, it's quite complicated. But if you catch a Pokemon off screen, of course, the next episode, because you are allowed to catch Pokemon off screen, it's just that like you have to feature it in at least one episode. So the next episode has to be has to be its debut on the team, and it has to be used in a battle, and this is before you can grind it, and we'll get onto grinding options in a minute. So, rule number 4. Before the first gym, you are only allowed your starter and one normal type Pokemon, and no other types. Before the first gym, you are only allowed your starter and your normal type Pokemon before the first gym. So that's all you're allowed. You can't catch any other types before then, unless there is an unless rule with this rule. Oh, so here it is, the unless bit. If your starter is a normal type, and it is going to be used as your normal type, you can collect one Pokemon and only one Pokemon of any other type before you get into the first gym. So there you go, you can collect any other type before you get to the first gym, but you have to have your starter and a normal type if you're not using a normal type as your starter. But you can have a start, and if you are using a normal type, you can have your normal type starter and any other typing of Pokemon, but only one. Only one. Don't catch multiple amounts of Pokemon before the first gym. You're only allowed to catch one Pokemon before the first gym. And it can be any type you want. It's just like, it has to be one Pokemon. Anyway, so rule number 5. You are only allowed to catch one Pokemon per route. Yes, because this is... I learned in my Emerald Metroid Run, I found like 4 or 5 different types that I wanted to catch on one particular route. So I've decided to say you're only allowed to catch one Pokemon per route from now on for this new challenge. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see if people will go. Let's see what people want to pick up, because if you see a Blastoise and then you see a Charizard and this is on the same route, you're thinking to yourself, do I want the Blastoise, do I want the Charizard, do I want the water type, or do I want the fire type? It's going to be amazing. They're both amazing, but which one do I want? You understand the situation here. Anyway, so you can pick and choose, but the fact is you've got to make sure you make the right decision. And basically, that is the case until you get towards the end of the game. And if you still haven't got all your types by, like, I don't know, the 7th gym, I will allow you to go back to routes and go and find Pokemon if you've found Pokemon that you want to use. Because up until this, you might not find some types in the grass that you actually didn't, you wanted. You might not find, say for example, you're looking for a dark type Pokemon and you haven't seen any dark type Pokemon up until the 7th gym, and you really want a dark type Pokemon, you haven't got your dark type yet, you need to find it. So I will allow you to go back just in case you might find it on an earlier route. And you didn't pick it up first time. You are only allowed to have one HM slave throughout the entire game. So I'd suggest getting a Bidoof, because Bidoof and Babaro, its evolution line, learn practically all the TMs bar Fly. So they learn all HMs bar Fly. So I would suggest picking one of them up as your HM slave, and you're only allowed one HM slave throughout the entire game. So pick well. Rule number 7. You are not allowed to use healing items in battle. So you can use healing items as much as you want on the outer world, but in battle, you're not allowed to use healing items at all. So it's an interesting thing. It really does set the men from the boys, or the girls from the women. And it's a challenge. It's a challenge. It makes the challenge even harder. And to be able to do it. To have to do a challenge like this and not to be able to use healing items is really, really hard. I found it so hard towards the end of the challenge, especially during the Elite Four. Anyway, so rule number 8. You are only allowed to do 20-minute videos. So that is all you're allowed to do. Now, I'm going to understand if you are competing alongside me and, for example, you hit the 20-minute barrier and you're in the middle of a battle, or you're in some kind of storyline which you can't, get out of at that point. You have 2 choices. You could end the episode right there and stop the recording and then start a brand new one immediately, because that gives you a brand new 20 minutes. Or you could end the episode after that. I will allow you to end the episode immediately after you gain control of your character again, and then you can make your outro and end the episode. as soon as that bit of storyline is done. But if you're like not in a storyline or battle at that time, you have to immediately stop. So there you go. I'll get into other things about that in a minute. There are penalizations if you do, for example, continue going through the episode like you haven't hit a 20-minute borderline. You've hit a 20-minute borderline, that means stop. So no more episode after that. If you continue on, I will have to penalize you. Anyway, so rule number 9. Fast forwarding is only allowed in battle alone. Playing on emulators allows you to use the super speed button if your PC is capable of handling the super speed button whilst you are recording. But you are only allowed to do this in battle alone. Think of the super speed button as like fire. You're not allowed to touch. If you touch it, you'll get hurt, because literally you will get hurt. For example, during my Emerald Metroid run, if I touched the super speed button on the outer world, I had to have a 5-minute stoppage. Well, a 5-second stoppage. That's what I had to have. I had to literally stay there and count to 5 every time I touched the super speed button. So nope, no super speed button during the outer world. There seems to be a lot of hammering going on, doesn't there? I'm not sure what's going on. Anyway, rule number 10. No on-screen grinding. On-screen grinding is kind of boring, so to make this series more entertaining for people watching the series, I suggest no on-screen. There's a rule for no on-screen grinding, because on-screen grinding kind of sucks. But you are allowed to grind off-screen as much. You are allowed to grind You are allowed to grind off-screen, but you're only allowed to grind 5 levels per episode. You're only allowed to grind 5 levels per episode off-screen. So that's all you're allowed to grind. You're not allowed to grind any more than that. And if you don't have enough time to grind, you can use rare candy cheats and cheat in the rare candies. But again, you're still only allowed to use 5. And this is on your team alone. If you're boxing your Pokemon, if you put the Pokemon in your box, you don't have to grind them, because they're not part of the team. They're just part of the catch list. They're not part of the team. But if you do want to use them on the team, you do have to grind. I'm guessing you will be grinding them. So 5 levels. And if you're using rare candies, again, only 5 per Pokemon per episode. Mood. So please remember to use those rules, otherwise I will penalise you. Anyway, so rule number 11. The timer starts on the first episode. The timer starts immediately from when you gain control of your character in the bedroom. Remember the bedroom scene in Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, where they have the telly on and the documentary, and then you go into you're able to control your character. That is where the timer starts. As soon as you're able to control your character in the bedroom, that is where the timer starts for that particular episode. So that's where the 20 minutes starts. So if you want to do the introduction and you want to talk, like you want to do the Professor Rowan welcome to the world of Pokemon speech that he does in Diamond, Pearl and Platinum, you can do that speech. But the fact is, that doesn't count as part of your episode. The episode starts as soon as you gain control of your character in the bedroom. Everything else, you can do whatever you want. You could actually start the episode as soon as you gain the character. You can actually start the series as soon as you gain control of the character. You could do that if you wanted to. But if you want to do intros like I do, then, that's what you do. Rule number 12. Breeding. Breeding is allowed as much as you want off-screen. You are allowed to breed as much as you want off-screen. So if you are looking for like perfect IV Pokemon to help you get through the game, you can do this, but you have to do it off-screen. And if your normal types are Ditto, I'm going to be surprised, because like you still actually have to use the normal type. So if your normal type is if you want a normal type and the normal type is Ditto, it's gonna be interesting to see you have to use that Ditto. But you do have to use it in at least one battle. It can die, so technically that does count as using it if it dies. So yeah, breeding is only allowed off screen. So hopefully you guys, you guys abide by that rule too. Anyway, rule number 13: replacing types. Replacing types is allowed as long as you don't swap types. So basically, for example, a Mincargo. A Mincargo can be either your fire or your rock type, but it is not allowed if it is. But if you've decided that it is your fire type, you cannot instantly change. If you find a Charizard, for example, you cannot instantly change. Say the Charizard is now your fire type, and now this Mincargo is your rock type. You have, if you want to catch the Charizard, and you have to release the Pokemon that was originally your originally of that typing. If you already have that type. So, for example, if Mincargo is your fire type, and you find a Charizard, you have to release the Mincargo in order to use the Charizard as your new fire type. Or, if you don't have a flying type, you can use the Charizard as your flying type. So, there you go. And rule number 14, final rule: dual type Pokemon are allowed, but must be given their primary typing if you don't have their primary typing. For example, going back to Charizard, if you do have a fire type, you have to release the fire type if you want to use Charizard as its fire typing. You can use Charizard as secondary typing, as its flying typing, but the fact is you're not allowed to teach it any fire moves, because your fire typing has already been set in stone. So Charizard can be your flying type all you want. It's just that Charizard is basically just a flying type and can only learn flying, normal, anything but fire moves. If it already has a fire move, you must delete it, and you're not allowed to use that type. You're not allowed to use that move. Basically, that's it. You're not allowed to have stab of the primary typing if you're going for the secondary typing. I know it sounds a bit complicated, but it makes the series more harder and more fun, I believe. So, randomized options now. Let's go into this. So, basically, what I want to see from this series is, or what I'm going to be randomizing for this series is, basically, I'm going to be randomizing the wild Pokemon, the starter Pokemon, the set Pokemon, trainers Pokemon, and that's about it. I'm gonna be randomizing. Items that you find on the floor as well, because I'm using the Ultimate Pokemon Randomizer, which is really cool. I will leave a link to that in the description below. Universal Pokemon Randomizer is it called, actually, but I will leave the link to it in the description below, and I suggest you download it and learn how to use it if you're playing along with me. I will also be randomizing TMs, yes, I will be randomizing TMs as well. But everything else is totally fine. You can randomize stats and types and all that other stuff, but it gets really, really hard then, like really, really complicated. And I want it to be still a fun series. So hopefully you guys will all enjoy this series too. Yeah. So if you want to play along with me, all you need to do is basically submit a comment to me in the comment section down below telling me that you're going to be playing along with me, and basically all you need to do for that is leave me a link to your channel in the description, in that comment, and also leave me your Skype name, because that way I'll be able to contact you, because you're playing along with me and I want to contact you. I want to talk to you, and I'm possibly going to be giving you a few shout-outs here if you're not a friend of mine. If you are a friend of mine, I'm definitely going to be giving you shout-outs. And if you're playing along with me, I'm definitely giving you shout-outs, because you're playing along with me. I want your channel to get over as much as my channel's going to get over from this series. So I want you to have a lot of fun from this series, and I want to be able to send subscribers your way to say, hey, you're doing this series, it's going to be amazing. And that's all I need to do. You can also send me a link to your channel via Twitter. I am at JoesPHGames. Oops. And again, I still need your Skype name in that situation, because again, I'm still going to be adding you to a Skype group. I'm going to be adding you as someone I can talk to on Skype about this series, and it's going to be really cool as well. If you have any like thoughts, opinions and queries on this series, please let me know in the comment section down below, or you can tweet at me at JoesPHGames again. And we will be starting this series in about 2 weeks, so if you want to play along with me, basically as soon as you see this video on your channel, look at the date published. As soon as you see this video on my channel, look at the date published. It's like the first thing it says in the description. So look at the date published and then look at your calendar, and 2 weeks from the date published you will be able to submit a application to play along with me. And if you want to play along with me and it's after that 2 week basis, you are not eligible for the prize anymore. So basically, if you want to play along with me, you've got to submit your comment to me in the next 2 weeks, because if I start the series and you're playing along with me and you didn't tell me you're playing along with me, how am I supposed to know that you're eligible for the prize? Because you're not eligible for the prize because you didn't tell me. So this is the time to tell me. If you tell me in part 1 you want to play along with me, that means you're not eligible for the prize, because I want to make sure that I got all the details of the people who are playing along with me and are eligible for the prize before I start the challenge officially. So if you have any thoughts, opinions or queries on this challenge, please let me know in the comment section down below. If you are going to enjoy this challenge, or if you enjoy this video, please leave a like, comment and subscribe. But until next time, I'm JoesPHGames and I am out. See you again.